All right, so strap yourselves in, everybody, because today's deep dive is going to really mess with your perception of, well, everything. We're taking on Christopher Nolan's Tenet, a film that doesn't just play with time, it practically throws time in a blender, hits frappe, and serves it up with a side of existential dread.
Yeah, it's not your lighthearted, popcorn-munching time travel flick, that's for sure. Tenet dives headfirst into the deep end of theoretical physics, exploring cause and effect in ways that, honestly, can make your brain feel like it's doing backflips. But that's why we're here, right? To break it all down, understand the intricacies of the plot, and unravel the mysteries of the characters, even without the visuals to guide us.
And the mystery at the heart of it all, the thing that makes Tenet so darn mind-boggling, is this concept of time inversion. Now, I know the term time travel gets thrown around a lot, but this isn't about hopping in a DeLorean and zipping back to the 50s.
Right. We're talking about reversed entropy. It's not just going back in time, it's literally reversing the flow of time for specific objects or people. Imagine witnessing a bullet flying back into the gun that fired it, or watching a shattered glass reassemble itself. It's like playing a video in reverse, but with much higher stakes.
And speaking of stakes, those are pretty darn high in Tenet, wouldn't you say? I mean, we're not just talking about changing the past, we're talking about the potential for inverting the entire planet. Talk about an apocalypse, but in reverse.
Exactly, and that's where the algorithm comes in. This mysterious device, broken into 9 pieces, holds the power to invert the entropy of the entire world. Whoever controls it controls the flow of time itself, and not everyone has good intentions, as you might imagine.
Which brings us to our enigmatic protagonist, simply known as the protagonist. Recruited into the super-secret organization called Tenet, his mission is to prevent this global temporal catastrophe. But here's where it gets really trippy. He's fighting to save a future that leads to him founding the very organization he's a part of. It's like a causal loop where the effect creates its own cause.
It's mind-bending, but brilliant.
Yeah.
Nolan plays with these temporal paradoxes throughout the film. The idea that actions in the future can directly influence the past, creating these closed loops of cause and effect. It raises questions about free will, destiny, and the very nature of time itself.
And one of the coolest and most confusing tactics they use to fight this temporal war is something called the temporal pincer movement. It's basically like a coordinated attack across time itself. You have one team moving forward in time, the other inverted, experiencing those same events in reverse. But because the inverted team knows what the forward team experiences, they can use that future knowledge to inform their actions in the past.
It's like having a cheat sheet for a battle that's already happened, but you're experiencing it in reverse. The level of coordination and strategy required is insane.
It definitely stretches our understanding of how time works, that's for sure. And we've only scratched the surface here. Tenet is a film that demands multiple viewings, endless discussions, and probably a whiteboard full of diagrams to truly grasp its complexity.
And even then, you might still walk away with more questions than answers. Who is Neil, and what are his motivations? What are the long-term ethical implications of time inversion technology beyond just the threat of the algorithm? These are questions that Nolan leaves us to ponder.
So listeners, we want to hear from you. What aspect of Tenet's time inversion did you find the most mind-bending, the most compelling, or perhaps the most utterly confusing? Head over to social media and share your thoughts using the hashtag #DeepDiveTenet.
And for those who want a quick recap of the key concepts and characters we discussed today, you can find a summary in the show notes for this deep dive.
Don't forget to join us next time for another deep dive into, well, we'll keep that under wraps for now. But trust me, it'll be another fascinating journey into the unknown.
Until then, keep questioning everything you think you know about time, and maybe, just maybe, try looking at the world in reverse. You never know what insights you might find.